The modern company is really a product of a historic company concept. Say the operating model or operating system for modern organisations is still 300 years old. It hasn't actually evolved that far.
Kia ora and welcome to PEP Talk, the podcast for purpose-empowered people, and I'm with one right now. This is Colart Miles. How are you doing?
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Yeah.
So, Colart, who are you?
Who am I? Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, I'm a human being who's on a planet that's revolving around the Earth. It's the third rock from the sun, and so I'm feeling quite connected and with everyone on the planet at the moment, with all the crazy stuff that's going on. But yeah, who am I? I am a African-born new Kiwi, and I have certain passions which we're going to talk about in this catch-up, I believe.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that's brilliant. And full disclosure, we've known each other for quite some time. We've worked together.
That's right.
Back in the old days at a company called Engage, and Colart taught me a lot of what I now know about agility. I'm not sure if that's going to come up in the things that you're passionate about, but
I think its effects will be the thing that we end up touching on. It's like,
awesome.
What is it that agility actually gives us?
Fair enough.
You know.
Okay. Well, the next question we tend to ask people is, what do you do?
What do I do? I am a coach and a facilitator. I'm usually brought into larger organisations to help with big changes, and my speciality, I think, is ways of working. So when we have a particular operating model that we want to get up and running, and you can give everyone the recipes and the standard operating procedures, as Simon will no doubt recall, sometimes you need a kind of code of conduct or a common understanding and a kind of a mindset check. And so I'm usually the guy that can help with that sort of thing.
Fantastic. Ways of working. So sort of a shepherd for people.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's great. Why do you do what you do? What's your sense of purpose?
Well, I got to say, I think I have a lot to thank you for in trying to give the words to these sort of things. But there were two little sound bites that I picked up working with you, Simon. Was that like going back 10, 11 years ago now?
A fairly long time. Yeah.
Probably, yeah, somewhere around there. But the first one was bringing humanity back to business. I don't know if you had a turn of phrase in a conversation or we had it somewhere.
I do tend to bang on about that.
But that really infiltrated my soul, and it gave me a sense of direction.
Wow.
Bringing humanity back to business and beautiful businesses.
Yeah.
You know, building beautiful businesses. So I think that became a point on the horizon that I try to aim for every day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so, tell us a bit about your journey. I remember when we were working together, we did have fascinating conversations about nobody in the room was from the same place.
Yes.
So everyone had different cultural backgrounds, different
That's right. Yeah.
languages, different
Yes.
histories. Can you tell us a bit about your journey professionally, personally, how it's led you to that sense of purpose?
Sure. Yeah. Look, I was born in sub-Saharan Africa, and probably like many people, not a great hand of cards to begin with, and I didn't really understand the implications of that as a child. But kind of as you get into life and as you take the strides, the decades slip past. You look back on a couple of kind of key moments for my journey. Sub-Saharan Africa, moved to England, decided I needed to get a degree, and I studied at Aston University in Birmingham, so alumni out there, kia ora. And my partner and I felt the call to start a family. Yeah, you can just pan around. Simon did ask me to let's go find some water.
There it is.
Here's your moana, baby. This is the Waitemata Harbour, the upper Waitemata Harbour.
Lovely.
And yeah, so what are the highlights? I'm ex-military. I drew a lot of lessons from that, which still play out today. Moved to New Zealand in 2008. Joined Sci-Engage and partnered up with this guy in about 2010 or 11, somewhere around there. We spent a couple of years knocking about Auckland, causing havoc.
Trying to change the world.
That's right, trying to change the world, baby. And yeah, I think I've found my niche, my calling is helping teams and work cultures find their way to high performance, and had the privilege of working with some of New Zealand's most amazing outfits, Air New Zealand, Serato Audio Research, you might know them, by Serato DJ, some of their product set, and various others, yes. Nice. And since then, been a serial entrepreneur, joined a company most recently. My main focus at the moment is a product called Opal 3, and it's a governance and reporting tool for local government organisations. And that's kind of where I'm at today.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And so
we can carry on walking that way if you like.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
In terms of that desire for what humanity looks like in business.
Yes.
Was there a moment, or was there an experience that kind of sealed that in for you? Because there's a lot of things we could do with our lives.
Absolutely.
Just make money, or
yes,
just make ourselves happy. But bringing humanity back to business, quite a big thing.
Oh, that resonated so deeply. I think when I first joined Sci-Engage, I had a young family, and I think those of you out there with little ones, you start to think about what the world is like that you're going to leave behind for them. And, our good common friend Kay Marie Dunn,
yes.
Quite passionately talks about being good ancestors.
Yeah.
And so I think at that stage, you met me at a time when I really was worried about what the world is becoming. I still kind of carry some concern over that. And it became really important to think about what kind of world we are leaving behind for our kids. What are we shaping? And it was striking to me, the organizations that I was dealing with, it was sometimes not obvious to see how the people were being protected in the machinations and the mechanical sort of work they were doing.
Yes.
So very often people were the last consideration,
yeah.
and process and profit were the first consideration, and that became, especially when any company would come under duress or encounter problems, that would be the first consideration. So it was very hard to see how people would feature in that. So I think professionally orientating to, well, if you power the people up,
yes.
guess what happens to processes, and guess what happens to profit, and
Nice.
Guess what happens to all these other things.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's sort of logical, but for some reason, I guess the bigger the organisation, the harder that is to put into effect, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's an understatement. But it's funny that there's large organisations put a decent amount of emphasis on values.
Yeah.
There isn't a company out there that doesn't have something stated around what kind of values they have.
Yeah.
And I think it's always been a real puzzle, is how do you create the structures and processes that promote the behaviours that are associated with the values. So you can have the words on the wall,
yeah.
but how does that translate to the behaviours? And it's quite surprising. Most of the teams and individuals that I encounter in organisations are really looking for authority and comfort.
Interesting.
They're often permission seeking. They want to do the right thing.
Yes. Is it okay to do the right thing?
Yeah, and often the structure gets in the way. When I say structure, I mean processes, or my job actually requires me to ask these 3 questions, which may be offensive to some. Yeah. And so often you need to look to the organisation structure to kind of spot those places where it actually just undermines people's ability to live the values that you're standing by. Somebody once said it's not so important having values, is you've got to have value having values. That people have to care that there are those words on the wall.
Well, that's true. Otherwise, they're not really values, eh?
You got it.
And there was a thing that we were talking about before about kind of nature-based or machine-based business. You were sort of saying humans are getting kind of stuck in the machine in a way.
Yes. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's the modern company is really a product of a historic company concept. I mean, Simon, you and I talked briefly just now about the Dutch East India Company.
Yes.
And of course, that's playing out today. That let's say the operating model or operating system for modern organizations is still 300 years old. It hasn't actually evolved that far. True. You know, we've seen pockets of innovation.
Yeah.
We're also seeing, we're in an age where the structure, that size and structure, is actually becoming largely irrelevant. That we're seeing, I think, a dissolution or a dissolving of bigger structures.
Yeah.
And so this is that whole agility thing and startup culture. We're seeing the rise of exponential organizations like OpenAI or Facebook. There's a cadre of organization models that don't necessarily mimic they're breaking from tradition.
A big factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big factory, exactly. Clockwork machine, eh?
Yeah, that's right. So the people are coming back into the concept of what it means to be in business.
We hope so. Yeah, I think it's still. I think there's a war of ideologies. I think there's a battle between different frames of view. You know, that is a company a clockwork machine where everyone has their job description.
Yeah.
And you know, Simon, we've got to have this conversation again because on your job description it says you look after these 3 things, and I've noticed that you've been drifting away from that and doing all these other things. So you know, the cog in the machine shape, you're not fitting the shape. So now you're a problem. You know? And then there's another lens that says, wow, actually I'm so glad Simon stepped into that because he caught something that was quite intuitive, and he went above and beyond the call of duty to sort that out. And the outcome is that we're healthier and better off for it. You know, it was the right thing to do, but it didn't actually map to the clockwork machine.
Right. You know? Yes.
So we've got this sort of organization or organism. You know, and so I think that's another lens that you look through as well. What if we looked more adaptive and more organic, and you know, less mechanical? You then have a different frame of reference.
That's really cool. So your purpose is bringing humanity back to business. How does that give you power or strength, especially when things are going hard or difficult?
That's a great question. I think having a purpose doesn't make the purpose happen. Unfortunately, you know. But it is a guiding principle, right? So it's like, I think James Clear bangs on about this a little bit. He's, you know, your vision won't come about from your goals and your objectives and your mission. Right. It'll come about from your systems and habits.
Yes.
But how do you orientate your systems and habits?
Yes.
So I think that's something I think about a lot is, well, if you have a purpose like bringing humanity back to business, those become guiding principles on my habitual day-to-day.
Yes.
So then it's like I'm orientated. I naturally will veer one way over the other.
Yeah.
You know,
not only this is what I do every day, but this is why I do it.
Yes.
Right.
And the why I do it governs, in a way, what I do.
Yes.
So if I've got a choice today of 3 things I could be doing, I will do the thing that orientates more towards the humanity back to business mission. For instance, joining a podcast with my wonderful friend Simon Young.
Thank you, fellow human. That's great. Yeah. Actually, now you've mentioned it, I do note we haven't talked a lot in the last 10 years, but when we do talk, you almost always do talk about humans. It just comes into your conversation, referring to somebody as a fabulous human. That's really interesting.
Okay, thank you.
How our purpose kind of it leaks out of us if it's if we're fully rooted in it. That sounds very rude.
We're grounded in it, right?
Grounded in it.
It gives you a center of gravity.
Yeah.
Which means, do you does it help you when the dilemmas start coming in thick and fast?
Yeah, totally.
Like, you know.
Totally. Wow, that's great. So I guess this is another take on the where did your purpose come from, but why did you choose a career path that's so much about change when it would seem that status quo is quite lucrative or safe?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Gosh, I think for me, like most people, I carry a sense of alienation. So I'm not. I often find myself in situations where I don't feel like I'm naturally a part of whatever's going on, and a part of, especially if it's social. So I've always felt like an outsider, whether it's true or not. I don't know if it is, but it's a feeling that I've sort of carried around inside me of alienation. And I think with that means I struggle to find my place in situations, and especially involving people. And I guess, like many people, if it wasn't done for me, I try to do it for others. Try to hold space, try to ask the question, try to advocate on behalf of. And I naturally find myself in a facilitating role, a space holding role. And I was sort of drawn to that. And being drawn to it meant that you develop a particular set of skills. Yeah, and I'm pleased for it. I sleep well at night.
Yeah.
You know, I look back on a career so far of many amazing experiences and instances where people have just outshone and surprised everyone. You know, you unleash potential, you unleash all sorts of great things when you do that. So that's kind of become my superpower.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. That's really interesting because perception-wise,
yes,
you're at the centre of so many things. You're at the centre of Startup Weekend movement throughout the country.
Yes, yeah.
You're one of the people that you go, oh, that's a startup guy. So that's really, but then that community is a bit of a outsider community in a way.
Kia ora. Yeah, it's a fringe phenomenon, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
So I would think of myself as part of one of the misfit toys on the island. You know, say, welcome to the island of misfit toys.
Right.
And I'm always drawn to what society would feel as the fringe. You know,
yeah.
And what I've found is that innovation happens in the fringes.
Yes.
It doesn't happen in the mainstream
100%.
where it's regulated in there.
Yeah, no,
and we're kind of an ancestral connection here.
Yes.
My ancestry traces back to pioneers and scouts.
Right.
You know, so back in the day when Africa was this big wide open space, and before colonialism, before all of that, it was the wildlands.
Wow.
And you had a few autonomous, lightweight movers that would move around uncharted territories. Like, you know, that's such an epic adventure. And this is a whole generation of people that are unnamed and history will never know.
Wow.
And you know, I'm a descendant of them, so I carry with me some scout energy, the passion of the explorer.
That's why you end up going up Mount Taranaki and
there you go.
and cobbled together.
So here's you sort of you level through then, right?
Yes.
So then there's scouts. Scouts give way to pioneers.
Right.
Pioneers are amazing archetypes, right? Like they're the ones that packed their lives up, lock, stock and barrel in the old world, and risked everything to go to the new world. Yes. And they ran the gauntlet. They were the salmon upstream, right? Like they took out by predators and environmental disasters and all sorts of stuff. That's the pioneers. And then pioneers give way to settlers.
Right.
And settlers build towns and start to get governance and all of the built environment that you see today. So I think to me, it's not just fringes, it's the scouting that excites me, and the pioneering.
Seeing the opportunity.
Yes,
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, is there anything that you'd like to advise anyone who is trying to find their purpose?
Yes. Double your rate of failure.
Yes. It's a very startup kind of thing to say.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you bring the cost of your experiments come down because you go through a few cycles. And guess what? You get something from every cycle, from every experiment. You know, your return on failure.
And sometimes the perceived cost is mostly emotional.
Mostly.
We don't like failure.
Oh, absolutely. We avoid it like the plague.
We don't like rejection. I applied for a startup accelerator last year.
Yes.
Didn't get in, and it was, I'm not used to getting refused. And I thought, this is good. It's one down.
There you go. It's data, right?
Yeah.
Failure is data.
Absolutely.
So
That's cool.
experimenting means you're moving out into the world.
Yes.
And movement creates clarity.
Yeah, nice.
It doesn't go the other way around.
As
you
we're
can't
proving right now, we're
you
moving.
can't think something through and come to some exquisite understanding and then action follows.
Yes.
No, almost all the great things that happen in the world happen from action first and then looking back and going, so it turned out it was that all along.
Seriously, yeah, very good.
You know, it's the basis of every rom-com.
Totally, yeah, absolutely. Rom-com's all about miscommunication.
Yep.
Goodness me. And what if somebody does have a sense of their purpose,
yes,
but they're not quite sure what to do next? How to get other people around them, that sort of thing?
The thing is, again, action.
Yeah.
Action, when you move, and you move in a certain way, your tribe will follow you, will find you. Right?
Are you thinking of the video I'm thinking of? The lone dancer?
Yeah.
And the second dancer?
That's right. It's your scouts, right?
Yes.
You're the scout, you're alone, you're out there, you're at risk, you're in the wilderness. You know, keeping it small, but you hold your energy.
Yes.
But keep moving.
Yes.
So if your action follows, clarity follows action, if you kind of keep to that principle, it's like, what small step can I take that's in line with my purpose? And we're weird creatures, our whole visual system is based on values.
Yes.
Like you literally don't see what you don't value.
Yes.
And you know, so if you draw your mind to something that you're fixated on, you're looking for it. Well, I mean, you know, if you're sitting, let's say, listening to this podcast, or watching, you know, you could take a moment and look around you, and in your head, do a little count of all the, let's say, red things that you could see. Just in a quick glance around. And what you'll probably find is you'll come up with some number of whatever's around you that might be red. Great. But you ask yourself, well, did I notice anything that was, say, yellow? And I might not even know.
Not so much, yeah.
Right?
True,
I'd be like, I don't actually know. I wasn't really looking at yellow. I was looking for reds.
Yeah.
So you see more of what you're looking for.
Our minds are quite ruthlessly efficient like that.
Yes.
They keep us from stuff that's...
Now, our minds not only are efficient, they are hardwired to keep you safe.
Yes.
So when they look around, they're not looking for red things. They're saying, whatever's important right now, I'm going to emphasize that in your visual field and in your value system. I value this now.
Right.
And it will make you see more of it.
Yes.
And of course, its bias is always to keep you safe. So it's always hunting for predators.
Yes.
So anytime you look around you, there's a part of your primal system. Like let's say you're sitting there listening or watching a podcast and the door slams behind you. You will have an involuntary response to that.
Yes.
It will drag your attention and lock it to whatever caused that.
Totally.
Whether you like it or not, it'll hijack your whole system. And you know, your heart rate will go and your cortisol, all that sort of stuff. And then your nervous system will settle down when you realize, it was just the cat or the wind or whatever it was, right? That there's no danger, it's past.
Totally.
So anyway, so the mechanics of that actually play out to your purpose.
Yes.
So if you give yourself something important to aim for, look at, look around you, you will start to spot out of everything I could be doing in the next 10 minutes, what's one action I could take that's in line with my purpose.
That's really cool. Yeah, wonderful. Cool. Thank you so much, Colart. It's been really good to catch up again.
Absolute pleasure.
Is there any other thing that you'd like to add?
What other things would I like to add? I think today the world's kind of becoming a really crazy place, and it's really easy to buy into the narrative that says it's all going to pot. You know, and I would just encourage anybody out there to, in the same way you glanced around and looked for everything red, look for things that you're grateful for and things that actually tell you the world isn't going to pot. Hunt for those things and draw them out in your awareness. And I think the more you see, the more there will be.
Love it. Cool. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time.
Ka kite.